Hello, hello, Keeks. How are you? Welcome.
Hello.
Go on.
Hello. I'm well. Thank you. Thank you, boss lady. It's been a week. It's been a week of many moving parts, and I'm just really glad to be able to spend a little time with you today. How are you?
Absolutely. Oh, fantastic. All is well. And to our audience, welcome to our Real Talk Consulting podcast. We are happy you're joining us today. I am joining from outside of New York City, and Keeks here is joining from Dallas area. So today we're going to focus on values and motivations. And a little bit about that because a lot of that, and I'm going to preface this now just so you have an idea to think about, is are they in alignment with what you're doing every day in your career and your personal life? And are you driven? Are you motivated by them? Or is it other things like your purpose and the meaning and all these other things? So there's so many ways we could go with this, but I wanted to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
Yeah. So I think when I think about values, this definition comes to mind, right? Like values are the principles or standards of behavior that one deems important in life. The They act as a guiding belief that dictates how a person behaves in various situations and are deeply ingrained in their personal and social identity. For me, I found that values are often shaped by my culture, my religion, family influence, and can include aspects like honesty, loyalty, innovation, responsibility, and even compassion. And so for me, when I think about my values, I think the top one that really stands out for me is I'm a woman of faith. Um, in this current day and age and an environment, the idea of one saying I'm a Christian has become less than popular. And though that's not a deterrent for me to say I'm a Christian, I know that in order for my message to reach people and for the true authentic nature of who I am to reach people, I do take careful consideration into how I package that. So one of the first things I have to say for me when it comes to my value is I'm a woman of faith. Um, the others include bold, authentic, unapologetic, and emerge between integrity and passion. So that's kind of starting off with the first. But Ivy, I'm sorry, boss lady.
All good.
I'm curious to hear yours, right? I'm curious to hear yours.
There were so many thoughts that was running through my mind as you were sharing. And though I do consider myself a woman of faith, what I lead with, right? I constantly ask myself, what am I doing every day? Is it a reflection of who I am, who I'm being?
Mhm.
And I ebb and flow with that thought. So some of the words that really resonate with me are discipline,
Mm.
excellence, exceptional, outstanding, world class, all the things that I aspire to be because when I see who I'm following, say Jesus is my the leader, right? My servant leader, okay?
Mhm.
Well, he emulates all those things in the most humblest way. Everything you could ever learn about what you value, who you value, your core values, what drives you, what motivates you, it's all in the Bible.
Yeah,
Leadership,
yeah,
influence, how you connect with people, how you listen and communicate and love, all of that's in the Bible. And
yeah.
so being a woman of faith, it's very powerful.
I
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I will say that it hasn't been it is trying to find the right way to present that without coming across as righteous, right?
Yeah.
Too self-righteous, or say you know it all, or say you're better than others. And I never want anyone to feel that's who I am because I say I'm a woman of faith.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that because I do really think a lot about coming across in a manner that is easily received by the audience, right? Even our audience is listening today. And I think one of the ways that I introduce myself in our challenge programs is, I always say, hello, everyone. My name is Christina, so and so and so, or you can call me CNN. I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that if you bleed red, you're my person. And I just leave it at that. And I feel like the reason why I really hone into that is because there's one thing that we all have in common as humans, and that is we all bleed red. I don't really care about your color, your choice of life, your approach in life, all the different things that make you who you are that society may judge you on or not judge you on, etc. I'm not in the business of coming to judge you. I just want to know the person that also bleeds red like myself. And I think when I say I'm a woman of faith and I follow with that lead, I find that it's easier for people to really receive that, because to me, what I'm really saying is I'm walking the walk of my Father, my Jesus. And that walk is the one that he walked with everybody, the everyday person. And that's what I'm here for. I'm not trying to climb on some religious pedestal or stay on some religious pedestal, et cetera, which I know that Christians have really developed a bad rep for.
That is very deep. And to add to that, I haven't figured out how I introduce myself. It changes. It's like ebb and flow. It's sometimes I would say I'm Ivy and I'm very determined, or I'm Ivy and I'm dynamic and I'm energetic, I'm enthusiastic. There's like so many attributes. However, one of the things that I say to people is I reflect what you want and need the most. And I don't care how you show up. If you want to show up happy, you want to show up sad, you want to show up angry, irritable, it doesn't matter. If that's how you want to show up you.
Can you
So
repeat that again for the audience? I reflect what you want and what?
what you need the most. If you need love, if you need acceptance, if you need me to be tough love on you, if you need me to be honest with you, if you need me to be whatever it is,
So
that's yeah.
I totally love this. And okay, I want to build on this one a little bit today. I love if you need me to be honest, then I'm going to be that. I am going to ask this follow-up question because, girl, I struggle with this one for me, right? Because honesty requires a depth of trust established between two people. So, have you ever been in a situation in consulting, right, in corporate America, since this is the Consulting Real Talk show, where someone has needed you to be honest, though they have not voiced it or voiced it, but needed you to be honest, but your relationship with that person is not as deep. And therefore, right, trust is not something that perhaps has been built, to the level that it needed to. How did you manage that? How did you manage being honest in that situation? Or how do you?
Along the lines, oh, that's a good question. I'm going to give you an example of a time where I did have to own it. I made a big mistake to my
Mhm.
VP many years ago. And at that time, I was uh, outside of consulting, but I was in a business job, and it it cost me something, but it felt so good to admit, hey, I was wrong, and that cost us, and that will not happen again. I own that, and I'll say that because I had the courage to admit I was wrong, I earned the trust of this VP who was very, very tough with people and
Mhm.
his team. And then another case where if I've come to you and felt like I could trust you and I started sharing, but your reaction to me is that
Mhm.
of discouragement, of that of resentfulness,
Mhm.
I'm a little bit more reserved about me sharing candid feedback, because
Mhm.
if I cannot say to you, can I share this with you and don't take it wrongly? And if I can't even say that, you're right, there is a level of trust that isn't there. And there's
Mhm.
also a level of, I'm just not going to tell you how I really feel about this, because
Yeah.
it's not that the it's not that I don't come with the filter. It's that what I have to say is going to fall on deaf ears and you're not ready to
Yeah.
hear it.
You're not ready to hear it. Exactly. Yeah. No, I love that you elaborated on that because I think it's important for the audience to take a key note here, right? What Boss Lady is doing is she has an aspiration of the woman that she wants to be at any given moment, right? The aspiration to rise above and to be the person that is excellent, exceptional, as she, noted earlier on. But there comes a time when even the excellent and the exceptional person must adjust to their audience or to the person in front of them. And I love how you are in real time adjusting, taking the moment to observe, the person on the other end and seeing if they're in a position to receive in the first place what you're trying to even communicate, hence being honest, right?
Right.
Thanks for that.
100%. Just think about your toughest clients and think about
Mhm,
how much you serve them, how much you want them to be able to see your perspective. They don't necessarily have to agree, but because they hired you to do something and you're doing something incredible, amazing, and you're making a difference, you're working with your team, they've given you runway to go and collaborate, solution, strategize. And then you got to deliver this information. There's a part of you that filters out some of the things that it's a how do I tell a story in the most honest way, but also in the way that you can best receive it. And that's the art of
mhm.
consulting. That's the
Yeah,
art of storytelling,
yeah,
connecting.
agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
You mentioned earlier in your, description of values, disciplined. I really honed into that one, disciplined. And the reason why I did, my friend, is because I struggle. This one is not my ministry.
I
Well,
love
let me
discipline. I can't do the preparedness thing. So we were like, okay, we got this all straightened out. I was like, someone's got that. I got this other thing.
I love that. I love that we're like the yin and yang of each other, right? Because
Yes.
I do have the preparedness. The
Oh,
discipline is
yeah, right. I
a
don't
little
have it.
harder
I
for
mean, I
me.
do, but I don't.
Yeah. I think if I had to rate myself on discipline, 0 being like nothing, and 10 being like, wow, you were getting 100% on this, I'd probably give myself a good 60%.
That's pretty good. I would say what motivates me, it's not so much I'm motivated. It's my habits and my values of I get it done no matter how I feel. I will
Mhm.
get it done. I
Yeah.
can put aside my emotions and just logically say, this is something you have to do, administrative stuff, whatever it is, and it must get done. And if I procrastinate, you know what I do?
What?
I will ask myself for forgiveness. And
Nice.
I would start to ask myself, why am I resistant to this? Is this a change
Mhm.
thing? Is this something I'm just not feeling? Is it
Mhm.
because I just frankly don't enjoy that task? But if I
Mhm.
have to bridge the gap of how can I make the most out of my day every day and the values of enthusiasm and passion and purpose and adventure and all this fun stuff, then I go, Ivy, you have to gamify this. I don't care what you have to do
Mhm.
to tell yourself, sell yourself. You love this for that moment
Mhm.
so that you can have a great time with it. I do that to
Yeah.
myself all the time. And that's how I
I
get
love
like, that's how I get myself going. When people go,
that's
I
how
want
you
to
stay
hang around you.
disciplined.
Huh?
That's how you stay disciplined.
I think so, but if anybody in my family would just describe me, that yeah, one of the words they would say is self-discipline.
Mhm.
I just will do it, and I will tell you, it's not about how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. For me, I think my family would say, Keeks is an achiever. She's an achiever. I just was raised in an environment where you achieve. And so I think when I find myself idle and I'm not achieving, I do tend to struggle. But I've been growing in this space and understanding that not every minute, hour, weekday, month, year requires achievement. Sometimes there's an art and a beauty to just resting and being in a space of non-achievement. So I'm learning that one too. But I can say that for me, that's something that's big. I know we're kind of coming up here at a good time. So I want to take a minute really quickly to provide the audience with a few resources today as we have kind of delved into very high level our values. And we didn't even get a chance to talk about motivations, but we can dive into that more in follow-up episodes. But if you haven't already, go to johnmaxwellcompany.com. And in this In this space, you will find all types of resources that are related to leadership development and just personal development when it comes to, your skills, whether it's soft skills, technical skills, etc. And I remember attending one of our challenge weeks last year for my level at the firm called the Leadership Challenge, which is provided for our senior managers and associate directors. And one of the biggest takeaways that I had during that time was the value cards that comes, in the leadership value cards that the Maxwell company actually put together. And it's the 5 levels of leadership. So I've gone through those cards and kind of picked through some of the things that really resonated with me as far as what my values are. And so we want to send you guys off, our audience off, with this tool and this recommendation. So as you start to think through what your values are, as you start to refine your values even more and determine, has it changed at this point in your career, feel free to leverage this site and use it to fulfill your needs.
And I have one last thing to say before we wrap up. And these resources will also be shared in the description of our episode when it gets posted online. And the question is this: if you could have it all, what could you experience 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And what would your ideal day be? Your vision for your life, both in your personal and professional life. That's all, folks. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Happy consulting.
Yep. Cheers.